When it comes to pure talent, you'll be hard-pressed to find anyone as good as Mighty Popo. He does it all, from playing instruments, to writing, to singing. These days, Mighty Popo is hard at work at the Nyundo School of Arts and Music, with hopes of launching the next big musical acts in Rwanda. After giving us the Kigali Up Festival, this is a man on a mission. Take a look. He is what you call a musical genius. These days, Mighty Popo is helping the youth do this. Mighty Popo is in charge of the music department at the Nyundo School of Arts and Music.
It's a government school. WDA, you're familiar with WDA work? They actually govern or they oversee all the vocational schools in the country. It's over 300 schools, I believe. Maybe 260 something schools, vocational schools. All to professionalize all sectors of the industry in Rwanda. So the art industry, the music industry is one of them that they would like to professionalize. That's how I came to be involved in the school. It's a modular system, which means we teach you one module. If it's piano instrumentalists or vocal techniques, you gotta finish that before you can take the next thing.
Round and around and around and around we go. Oh, now tell me now, tell me now, tell me now, you know.
It's not just all about performing and learning the basics of music. It's also a way to further TVET and also self-reliance in general.
It's more like an academy, you know what I mean? We actually, making sure that we have great Rwandan, made in Rwanda musicians who can play on a higher level. And on top of that, WDA is actually now interested, and already talks have begun, and we already have partners to make instruments, to make guitars. So we'll have soon at the school guitars made in Rwanda that we can sell to Rwandans and sell in the region. So it's how you see how it's building. All this is in the plan, in the government plan, to really reduce poverty. So we teach you, the skills you need. We teach you how to actually create jobs with those skills, and then you can make a living off of it.
When looking at countries like Nigeria, one can ask themselves if Rwandan artists are getting enough support. I had to pick Mighty Popo's brain about the state of music in Rwanda.
It's for us to create it and no one else. We have to convince people. What they have done in Nigeria, they have been doing since the 70s, actually the 60s. They're probably actually making the same thing we're making over here. It's just like big corporate companies using them. They are making money because maybe of the concerts and big corporate sponsorships. And we do have, such things over here, but on a smaller scale. The private sector in Rwanda don't understand entertainment yet. They don't understand that it can actually bring money, lots of money.
Now, what's Popo's take on the state of music in the country?
Right now, the musicians and the industry itself, it's trying to build itself. They have done an amazing job to see where they are without any knowledge of it, self-taught. We have superstars, or they call themselves superstars, There's no professional recording studios as such. They are doing great videos, sometimes creatively good enough to be played in Los Angeles.
A genius indeed. Regis Isheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And earlier this week, I caught up with Mighty Popo and started by asking him about the recruitment process at the Nyundo School of Arts and Music.
We proceed by talent search. We go around all the major districts of the country, and then we recruit talent. What do? They register first through WDA's website, and also they register to the spot where we're going to be doing the talent search. And then they come. We'll listen to them. We'll listen to their talents, whether it be singing or instrument playing or dancing, talking, whatever we teach, we'd like to see the talents in the students.
Now, as we saw in the report, the voices, the level of talent is unbelievable. You got amazing voices, they can play instruments. Now, what exactly are you teaching them? Is it just singing? Are they playing instruments as well? How does it work?
Well, we teach everything that touches to the music business, music industry. So, as you saw in those footages, a lot of students like to sing. So we take what they know already and we develop it. So if we get a student who wants to learn how to play a piano or drums or any instruments that we have, so that's what we do. We develop what they have, from what they have upward. And on top of that, they have to go through what I call a traditional filter. So if you want to learn how to be an MC, you have to learn Rwandan culture and Rwandan tradition musically. Because we want to give them an identity that is theirs, that is natural to them. Only that way, then they can develop something that will be original and theirs.
Now, for someone who lives in Huye, someone who lives in Kamembe, and they're trying to be part of this, or at least, be eligible to be part of the Nyundo School of Arts and Music. I mean, can they qualify? Because they're really far removed from where it is.
Well, Rwanda is Rwanda. As long as you're in Rwanda, you're qualified. But what we ask, if you need 9 years basic education, what they call tronc commun. So if you have 9 years basic education, you have some music talent, you're eligible to come and show us your talents. But only we do that once a year, towards the end of the year. Right now we already have what we have, so the next recruitment will be around November, December 2015.
Now, has any of them blown your mind? I mean, have you seen something and gone, I cannot believe we have this level of talent here in Rwanda?
I wouldn't continue if I wasn't blown away. So to tell you little, we have so much talent in Rwanda. We're just waiting for this type of school to come. Raw talents that we can nurture and really blow to be an international thing.
Now, what kind of support have you been getting? A governmental support? Is it NGOs? How has it been going?
No, this is a government school. This is Mineduc. Are you familiar with TVET?
Yes.
Yeah, WDA. So this is a vocational school, It's all part of the government to alleviate poverty. If you've heard of EDPRS 1, EDPRS 2,
right.
all those 2 phases. So we teach the kids we teach them the skills of music, but also how to create jobs in music. So no, it's a government school, it's part of the Ministry of Education, so it's legit.
Now, for so long in our culture, I mean, the parents had a tough time understanding that a kid could live off music. For so long, you have to become a doctor, a lawyer, a government agent. And now, slowly, it's starting to change. Talk to those parents that are still, on their guard about sending their kids to the vocational school.
Well, parents, should I look at you or look at the camera?
Whatever works.
Parents, if you have a child, whether it be a boy or a girl, and you would like for them to join a vocational school, if it's music, it's great. If it's anything, carpentry, IT, anything, as long as they have talent in that, support them. As for music, when we started, parents weren't sure. You know how people think of music.
Yes.
It's not only here, by the way, in Rwanda. It's all over the world. We've seen that all over the world. So they think of music as sagi hobbies and things like that. But the music industry in any part of the developed world is one of the major factors in economic development. It's the only sector that brings in a lot of money, a lot of cash into the economy. So over here, we're taking the same model. We'd love for the music industry to grow bigger and to contribute to the growth of the GDPs and all that, that makes a country, grow and be developed. So parents, they must know that if a kid has talent in music and they would like to learn that professionally, support them. Like I was saying, in the first year it was tough, but this year we've seen parents accompanying their children to school and calling me each and every day, how am I my child doing? And then this is great. This is what we want to see. And another great factor is our first recruitment, 30 of them. All of them decided to go on to the second year because it's a 3-year program, So a student, they have a choice to study for 1 year and go to the workplace if they wish to, or to continue on to do the whole 3 years. So our first recruits, they've all 30 of them decided to continue on, which is a great sign.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mighty Popo, it's been an honor and a pleasure to host you on the show.
The pleasure is ours.